Okay. Good morning, guys. I got an unexpected day off today. One of my clients, her dog is having diarrhea, and she was saying that, is that, okay, that's good. I really should have set this up. I didn't know I was going to be doing this. I didn't think I was going to be doing this, but I got inspired. So I was like, you know what? Let's, if I'm not going to work today, I was thinking I can still, sorry, I'm sitting up here in the background. All right, playing producer and everything. Okay, there we go. A little bit closer. Cool. Alrighty. Maybe I'll put in the description later when the time mark where you can jump forward and all this is already done. Okay, got my coffee here. So while I'm getting on here on the YouTube page, let me just explain. This morning I was supposed to be going downtown to work, but as I was getting ready to go and everything, I got a call from my client. She said that her dog has major diarrhea, won't stop, all last night, this morning as well. So obviously not a good day to give him a, a bath and a haircut. So we rescheduled, and all of a sudden I have the day off. Hey, good morning, Tennessee Granny. Okay, see, I need I need reading glasses. Where's my reading glasses? Oh, there they are. So I can't really read those the comments coming in now, so that's why I have my laptop here so I can read them. But yeah, these days I carry around reading glasses so that when I'm finishing up the Bijans and when I'm finishing up the haircut and I'm doing the scissor work, especially like around the nails and the feet, I put these bad boys on now and I can actually see what I'm doing. I look like a total nerd. But anyways, I had to. I like everything's just blurry now. Like up close, I can see everything, clearly. It's just, anyways. So let me go ahead and get on this YouTube channel. So that's what happened this morning. That's why, and I was like, oh my God, I have the day off. I'm gonna go fishing. I'm gonna take my dogs and we're gonna go fishing. So Dexter, come on. You wanna say hi? Oh, my old guy Dexter. Anyways, so we're gonna go fishing later. Weemie's over there, my little guy. But before I go fishing with them, I like to take them to this place down called Charlie Elliott. There's like several ponds that you can walk trails, and I just keep them off leash, and no one there seems to mind. Every once in a while, I'll run into another fisherman, and they don't mind because my dogs are friendly. Anyways, before I go, I was thinking, okay, what if I put in some work and actually help people with some grooming, right? With some grooming tips. So let me do that. So first, let's start off with the skin. So I got this piece of paper here. Where did I put the pen? There it is. My life's a mess. Hey, what's up? Um, I've been pretty good. No, actually, I've been freaking out. I'm in a new place here. This is my new place that I'm renting. My whole family packed up and moved to Alaska. So I am the last of the Yoon clan. I'm the last of my clan. Actually, no. So here's the cool thing. I thought I was going to be homeless for a little bit. This happened in August. So August 1st or the first week of August, right? No, it was August 11th. Because I remember I was like, I have 20 days. August 11th, I get told by my mom that the house is sold. I was like, what? I didn't even know that you have put the house on the market. She said, yeah, she said she didn't think it was gonna sell. She just put the house up just to see if there would be any bids or what would happen. Within a week, it was already under contract, and we had to be out of the house by the 30, no, by the 15th. I was like, I can't. The 15th, that's 4 days. I was like, I didn't know, I didn't know I had to move in a month or two, let alone 4 days. I can't move in 4 days. I need more time. So they asked for more time. So I had until August 31st to be out of there. Right, Dexter? It was crazy. Hey, I don't need your guys' input. I don't need your commentary in the background, okay? Anyways, so let me see. Where's my? Oh, there it is. So I can see comments coming in. So I was freaking out. I thought I was gonna be homeless for a little bit because my credit's not it's not great. No, actually not. That's lying. That's a lie to say my credit's not great. My credit is bad. That's the truth. My credit is bad, and I didn't have any money saved up because I wasn't prepared to move. I didn't know. I was actually thinking my mom was gonna move up to Alaska. I was gonna take over the house and the mortgage and everything, and I was actually planning on sending my kids to school there. We were planning on just living there, and having my kids grow up there. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about the next place to go fish. I was thinking about the next pond to go to. I wasn't thinking about house shopping or being, looking for a place to rent. So, anyways, I started looking. I contacted some of my clients who are real estate agents, and I mean, it was like an impossible situation. The time frame, my situation, my financial situation, everything. So I was just freaking out. And then I finally just decided, like, I told, there's a technique that I learned from a book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie, I think it was his name. And anyways, the technique is whatever the situation you're facing, just ask yourself, what's the worst possible outcome? What is the worst possible, situation, right? What's the worst possible thing that can happen? And then just accept it. Just decide that you are going to accept whatever the worst possible scenario is, right? And so I was like, the worst possible case scenario is my family moves up to Alaska, and the house is sold. I'm gonna put everything that I own in storage. I'm gonna have all the things I need to like work and live in my truck. I'm gonna camp and live in my truck, sleep in my truck with my dogs. I called my friend Barbara, who has a shop called Swanky Paws here in Lawrenceville, and she does boarding and grooming. I asked her if I could drop my dogs off in the morning before I go to work, and then pick them back up after I get off of work, because I'm going to be homeless for a little bit to like find a place to rent. And she was like, absolutely, like what? She was like, whatever you need. I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed to have such good friends and support system that I didn't even know I had really. But anyways, so then, yeah, I was just freaking out. And then, just out of nowhere, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I lost so much weight. I mean, I think the next time I wanna look sexy and get up, thin up, trim down, I think I might just get really stressed out, go on the stress diet, you know what I'm saying? The stress diet worked. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't do anything. And what I think I would tell myself now if I could go back in time, I would tell myself, "Dude, just relax. Everything's gonna work out, just relax." Because one of my clients told me this too, and it's so true. She's like, "You can either trust God or worry, but you can't do both." And I was like, "Oh, man." And I was just telling her, like, and myself, honestly, at times like this, I wonder if I really do even believe in God, you know? Like, because I worry so much. If I really did trust God, why would I worry this much? But anyways, because I'm a worrier, and but I just accepted the worst case scenario. I was like, I'm okay with it. I actually looked up some storage places. I set up a time to go and buy the storage unit so I can put all my stuff in there. I was ready to live out of my truck, and I told myself, I don't think any of my clients would be like, "You're living out of your truck? Well, then I don't want you to groom my dog anymore." Like, and if they are like that, I mean, good. We probably shouldn't be working together. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to. I don't want to work with people like that. So anyways, I just accepted the worst case scenario, but then my uncle, who lives in Lawrenceville, he was on the Korean Georgia Tech website, and so I would have never found this place. But he found this place being rented out. It's a completely finished basement. My room is the other on the other side, and she allows pets, so I got my dogs here with me. I had to put Angel down. Oh my God. It was the worst experience of my life. I mean, but I thought I was ready. I thought I was ready for it. I was preparing for it. I kept pushing it off, kept pushing it off. Last year, even, I thought I was gonna have to put Angel down, my older white dog, but she made it to 17, and I made the appointment to with the Little Bird Animal Hospital. I made it like just like a few days before I was gonna move in here, so I pushed it off to the last moment because I just knew that she was already struggling and already having a hard time getting up and peeing and everything. She was almost completely blind, deaf, and so I just felt like the move would probably be too much for her already. I don't want her pooping and peeing and everything in here in this new place that I'm renting. That would be a bad first impression. So my daughters were with me, and we took her to Brewster's to get some ice cream, and she ate ice cream. She gobbled it up, and then she took 2 steps, and she threw it right up. And and I was like, if you can't enjoy ice cream, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? What's life is not worth living if you can't enjoy ice cream. Come on. I was like, let's go, let's do this. We're putting her down. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we took her to QT then and gave her some hot dogs because she loves hot dogs. But yeah, she didn't. She ate a few, and yeah, she didn't want the hot dogs. And even my daughters knew, like, yeah, it's time for her to go. But anyways, it's really tough to talk about. It was really tough to go through. I I posted my dogs on Instagram just last week. We were up in Tennessee to go see my daughters. And I couldn't go there immediately because they had company, things were going on, so I couldn't just go over to their house. So I figured let's take the dogs and go explore. Tennessee has some beautiful, breathtakingly beautiful scenery in Tennessee. So we went, and I posted some stuff on Instagram. And somebody was asking not constantly, twice, because the first time she asked, "Where's your white dog?" I didn't answer. I didn't reply. And then on another one, on another one of the posts, she commented again, "Where's your white dog?" And so I finally just replied back. I had to say goodbye. Oh, it's like, why you keep asking me, man? Let it go. I didn't reply. Let it go. Anyways, so that catching everybody up to what's going on, right? So I'm in this new place now with my dogs. If I could tell myself, if I could go back in time, I would tell myself, "Yo, chill out." You know what I'm saying? Everything's gonna work out. Just chill. But I like to worry. You know what I'm saying? It's too fun, I guess. Like, don't take that away from me. Okay, now, oh my God, comments coming in. Okay, let me get my reading glasses out here. Okay, so I got this because I wanna actually share it and tell. Yeah, okay, here you go. Uh, Impossible Pup. What's up, Impossible Pup? Lee Rowley. What's up, Lee? You like these glasses? Let's see here. Salem Dog 100. It's amazing how everything is so clear, though. It's all fuzzy. It might as well be hieroglyphics right now when I'm looking at it. But then I put these on. Oh my God, Oh my God, there's words there. Tuning in from Massachusetts. What's up, Salem Dog? Okay, bear with me. I'm getting to the I'm getting to the stuff. I'm just trying to catch everybody up to what's going on with my life. Um, Debbie. Hi, June and everyone. Impossible Pub. Well, we know nothing is impossible. You're looking comfortable right now and managing well. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm getting my weight back. Look at me, getting all chubby and happy again. Um, let's see. Marta Lech. Hi, June. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. I am. Marta Lech. Stress is a kill. It is. Stress really is. Inner peace begins the moment you choose to not to allow other person or event to control your emotions. Exactly. Yeah, Marta says, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you, Marta. I, kn- I was more judgmental and I was very self-righteous before. I didn't even know I was. When I was working out in Utah and this the Canine Lifeline, I remember these people were boarding their 2 dogs, older dogs, and one of them was so old, we had to carry her outside so she could pee and poop. If she didn't already pee and poop on herself already. She was that old and that far gone, but they wouldn't put her down. And I was so judgmental. And I was like, these people are getting so selfish. Think about the dog. The dog doesn't want to be here anymore. Look at that. And I was just like, they're just keeping her around just for them. They're so selfish. I completely get it now. What was I doing? I was doing the same thing. If I didn't have to make that move, I probably wouldn't have made that call. I would probably would have watched her just decay. I would have done the same thing. I'm no better. I'm just judgmental. Now that like, you really do have to walk a mile in someone's shoes. Maybe a mile is not even enough. Maybe you got to walk like several miles in someone's shoes to really understand instead of judging. Because yeah, now I get it why people hang on a little too long. Because I did the same thing. Because it's hard. You know, because yeah, you miss them, and it's so sad. But anyways, I'm much better now, and now I understand. I get it, man. It's a tough thing to go through. Um, let's see here. Angel is still with you. Close your eyes, and you will see her. I do. That's the thing. It made me so sad because when I was walking with my dogs the other day, even I was walking them at Collins Hill, this trail, this really nice trail. And I remember her walking with us there, and I remember seeing her looking up at me and smiling. Okay. Debbie says it's always so difficult. Yeah, yeah. Impossible pup. Awesome. Sorry, guys. Okay. Last set of handsome. Awesome. Thank you, Lee. All right, let's get started. So, what I wanted to do is first, let's start off with the your dog's skin. What does your dog's skin even look like? You know, under a microscope, you would be shocked, right? And then when you get down under the skin, so there's the epidermis. That's the layer of the skin that we see. That's the epidermis. Very thin layer. We have 7 layers, I believe. Dogs only have 5 thin layers. And the top layer, they call it like the horny layer, which is my kind of layer. I love staying right there at the layer at the horny layer. Anyways, that's the so thin, so razor paper thin. That's their horny layer. That's the first layer that they have. They have 5 layers of their epidermis. Is the skin that we see at their surface. So thin that I remember one time I was watching this one guy. He was brushing a dog. He caught a wart and it made a strip. The wart was like right here, it caught and a strip of skin tore all the way down, almost like it was a fiber, like a clothing fiber. And so their skin is structured differently than ours. Let's just understand that. So whatever makes sense for us, it doesn't make sense for the dog because our skin and our hair completely different. Our pH is different. We're a 7. No, we're a 5. Our pH is more like a 5. Dogs' pH is more around 7. So dogs are more alkaline than ours. Our skin is more acidic. So that's why when we use human products on dogs, it where is it? It strips. That's the term that they use. It strips the acid mantle, which is a very thin layer of oil that's there to protect their skin and their hair from outside germs, bacteria, outside, stuff from coming in, germs. So that's what's protecting their skin and their hair. When we use Johnson and Johnson baby shampoo on our dogs, it's made for a human baby. And so it strips all the natural oils off the dog, and now the dog is wide open to bacteria, fungus, everything that's out there is going to move right in. And that's why when you wash your dogs improperly, like using human shampoo or not using conditioner after the shampoo to restore the oils and protect the skin and the hair, your dogs start to smell maybe sometimes worse than before about 2 3 days after the bath because it takes about 2 3 days for the bacteria and the fungus to colonize and it starts to release the stuff there and then the odor you smell it and so that's what happens. Now let's look at the I wasn't sure if this pen was right would write so I actually tested it. Does it right? Actually, you can't even really see it, huh? Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to draw it pretty big. So here's the skin, right? This is the layer of skin, let's just say right there, right? Top, that's the epidermis, right? Oh no, is it not working? Okay, it works. After I tested it and wrote, does it right? Okay, so there's like the rectopiliar muscle. There's a popliteal and sweat gland. There's a sebaceous gland. There's a hair follicle. Out of the follicle, there's a primary hair. I need to get a bigger pen or something. And then there's secondary hairs. So this is kind of what a dog's pore looks like. So I'm going to explain. So this is the top layer I was telling you about. This is the layer of their skin that you see, like us. This is the epidermis, right? Under the epidermis, you have the dermal layer, then the hypodermis. But anyways, so this is all under the dog's skin. Now at the surface here, we see their hair. These little fine hairs, right? There's a lot of them. There's like 7 to 12 of them surrounding this primary hair that grows, right? These are for protection, insulation, and these die and get dry and get fuzzy and mat up and everything very easily. So these have to be combed out often. It has to be removed and combed out often, right? And this it will keep producing these hairs and it'll keep growing this hair, right? Now there are stages. There's anagen, catagen, telogen, right? So that just means like there's a beginning of life where the hair first starts to grow. There's midlife where the follicle is starting to just die off and disconnect, and then there's the when it dies and the follicle is dead. Then you have this hair inside this skin with a dead follicle. It has to be brushed out or combed out, but if it just hangs out in there, oddly enough, the hair will continue to grow, but it'll grow fuzzy and nasty and it'll mat up and it'll cause all kinds of problems. This is why brushing and combing your dog every day is so important. Not only are you removing the dead hairs and the dead follicles and all that dead stuff because there's dead skin cells in here, there's old sebum. This is a sebaceous gland right here that I drew. So there's a sebaceous gland producing oil, right? And the oil uses the hair to come out onto the skin. And so that's why I tell everybody you don't want to shave your dog down to the skin because it needs their hair for the oil to travel along their body. That's why the topical flea treatments, it spreads all throughout their body, using their oils to travel, and the oil uses the hair to travel, right? So by brushing and combing your dog often, not only are you removing all of this stubble, all of the dander, all of that junk that comes out of there, and all that dead hair that's so fine that you can't even see it, it's invisible, but when you brush enough of it and enough of it collects on your comb, then you can see it. It's like, wow, and it actually bundles up it so tightly. It turns into a little cotton ball because the hair fibers are so frayed. It's like Velcro. They just attach to each other. And that's why your dog's getting matted. But if you comb all those hairs out, your dog won't mat up because it can't. All the nice healthy hairs are nice and sealed, and they're silky, smooth. They're not frayed. They're not dry. So they won't mat up. They're gonna be nice, and it'll feel nice. What else is there to cover? Oh yeah, and then by brushing your dog, not only get you clearing their pores, helping them clear out some of these dead follicles, they come out like seeds. And sometimes when I actually get one to come out in the whole bundle, it's crazy because you have a little seed, right? Little little like grain of sand almost, right? Little grain of sand, and out of it is like this bundle of hair. It almost looks like a fishing lure. If now that I'm getting to fishing, it almost looks like a fly fishing lure comes out of the dog. Like what in the world, Um, but that's this. This just came out, the dead one. And it needs to come out because every single day they're growing hair all over the body. This is happening everywhere, millions of this going on. So that's why it's so important to brush and comb your dogs. Now, let's go over some tools if you want to brush and comb your dogs, right? Okay, no questions, good. Better not ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? How thoroughly I'm going over this information. Shoot, asking me questions is wasting my time. No, just kidding. Anyways, okay, go over some tools, okay? You don't need all this. You don't need all this. I don't even know why I carry around all this heavy in my backpack. But anyways, um, here we go. So I love the slicker brushes. I used to not like them because, I didn't like how it scraped and scratched and left, the red lines on, it's, it can be kind of rough. But I realized it's not the tool. It's the person using it. It's a user. As long as you don't push down and try to hurt, as long as you go in and out like this, then it's okay. And these bristles are made so that it's really nice. I love these. So these particular ones are GEM, GEM. They're like a knockoff of I forget, the CC brushes, Christensen or something. Anyways, and these were given to me by my friend Ashley down in Orlando, Florida. Ashley's back. Oh, Ashley. Ashley and I are trying to coordinate a time to get together to record a podcast where she kind of tells us about her life because I think it's super fascinating. Anyways, um, so I'm working on that. Then after you go through and brush the hairs, right, you get kind of separate all of the bundles, separate all the hair so it's nice and soft again. Then you can go through with something, you don't need something like this, but something that's like a little bit wider. So, or you can go through with a greyhound comb because this has two different wideness on each side. So this one's a little bit wider than this side. So what you want to do is start on the wider side, right? And so that's the idea. So I'm starting wide and going down narrow, right? So something like this is a finishing comb. You don't want to ever start with this. You don't want to brush out mats and tangles with this. This is a finishing comb. This is when you're about to do the haircut and everything's already brushed out and everything's all prepared. That's the thing. The haircut takes me like 30, 40 minutes. But to get the dog ready for that haircut takes me 3 hours to get that dog properly prepared for the haircut. Why? Because owners are not brushing their dogs and they're not combing their dogs properly. So if you're just doing the surface, just brushing the surface every night, and you're not sweating, that's why I tell people, if you're not sweating, you're probably not doing it right because I'm sweating when I'm combing and brushing my dogs. It's work. So if you're not getting in there and getting all that dander and stuff out, you're not really doing anything. Might as well brush them with a butter knife. You know what I'm saying? A plastic spoon. Probably do the same thing. You want to get down in there to their skin level. You want to get down to their skin and literally use the comb to grab these bundles of dead hair, like right there, right? And then it combs it right out. It'll come out with the comb, not with your fingers, with the comb. That's why when I run my hands through the dogs, I'm usually like, wow, it looks like it's gonna be a pretty easy day for me. The owners kind of brush the surface, so it feels nice. But then when I get the comb and I get the comb, I put it into their skin, this comb doesn't budge. Why? Because they brushed the surface, and the surface looks nice now. The dog looks nice, but down here at the skin, everything's all bundled up and bunched up and just impacted together. So now I have to work all of that out gently. So if you're going to work stuff like that out, instead of going through with the comb directly, I would start with the slicker brush, right? Then I would go through with something like this. See, that has serrated edges. So I would go through with something like this. This is called a dematting rake. See that? I already was using it. But you want to go through with this, get right there at the surface level, right there where all of the hairs are, because right next to this pore here, guess what, if you look, if this was a 3D drawing, there would be another pore right here, right in front of it, right next to it, right here, right here, right here. There would be pores everywhere, right? And so there would be all of this dead frayed hair, and it'll all be jumbled together, tangled up and matted. So you get this, you get right there, right where the mats start, right? And then you do like that. So instead of trying to rip it out, you let the blades slide through the mat and it'll start cutting. It'll start cutting like that. So that way, and you hold the hair down at the base, so that it doesn't hurt the dog. You just do like that, right? And that'll slowly work the mats out and split it up. Then you go through with the wide side of this comb, and then you kind of comb out those pin mats now. You'll see them like little cotton balls. You'll comb those out, right? Then once you do that, um, you're pretty much done. But if you really want to, get your dog shiny and feeling really nice and smooth, then you want to go through with the undercoat rake. Now, undercoat rakes, same thing. Same idea. Wide, then go fine, right? So I start with something wide like this. See that? Something wide like that. If I need to go through the legs. So this is for like the body. This is for like the legs, right? Then, and these are called undercoat rakes, right? Or um, there's a company called Mars. They originally made these, and they were called Coat Kings. So they call these Coat Kings, Mars Coat Kings. Kind of like everybody calls it Scotch tape, even though it's just tape, and Scotch is the name brand. But like, yeah. So you can find it by asking for Coat King, a Coat King brush, but they're really called undercoat rakes. Coat King, Mars Coat King is just the name brand that originally started it. And then this one here is a fine one. So see a little finer, right? So I finish with this one, and then I go through with the body with this one. See how much finer it is than this one? So I start with this and I finish with this. And that, so if you do that process, brush everything out here, boom, separate the coat, right? So it's nice. That because the reason for that is when you go through with the comb, you don't want it to tug too much and pull too much. And by going through with this, it's not going to pull too much. Then you go through with this and you comb it out, and then your dog's going to look really nice, right? Now, if you run into a mat, you're combing your dog, you run into a mat and you feel like you can't really work it out with the comb, then have this handy because you might have to spot use these, right? And then go through with that. Then once you're done with that, you can go through with the coat kings if you want. If not, you can be done. Now, I wanted to show you a quick demonstration because my dog Weemy is a mess. He's my long hair Maltese mix. And I wasn't going to clean him up because we're about to go fishing. And walking those trails and everything, they're off leash, and he's rolling around getting dirty. So I figure if I'm gonna clean him up, might as well do it after we come back, right? Because why get him all clean and then have him get dirty again? So we mean, come on, he's passed out. Let me go grab him. Hold on one second. Alrighty, so I brush him pretty much every night, every day when I'm watching TV I usually have the YouTube channel going on. I watch fishing videos because I don't know how to fish. I'm learning. Oh my God, last night I caught a giant. Anyways, and for the first time I didn't put it on Instagram or anything. I took a picture of it, of course, because I need proof, but I didn't post it on any of my social media because like I'm starting to practice living life for the experience, not for anything else. For the experience, because I realized there's no way to win at life. There's no winning, right? I mean, because if there is winning at life, who is the winner? How do we determine that? You know what I'm saying? Would it be Elon Musk because he has the most? He doesn't have the most money. Would it be someone that has the most money, or would it be Elon Musk because we're judging on money and fame? But then Joe Rogan is up there. How do we decide? Or is it who did the most for humanity? Would it be Mandela? Would it be Gandhi? How do we choose a winner? Right? So logically, there is no way to win at life. Well, then there's no way to lose at life. So if there's no way to lose at life, what am I so scared and what am I so worried about? What am I so stressed about? What am I trying to accomplish here? I'm trying to have a good experience. Well, catching that fish last night, it was an amazing experience. That big old bass. It was the last cast too. I was about to give up. I was like, you know what? It's getting late. I'm probably not gonna catch anything. I was like, let's just go home. And the last cast, oh my God, it was a giant. Anyways, if anybody wants, I'll send you a picture of it. Um, but anyways, okay, here you go. So see how Weemy looks a little rough and scruff right now? But if I just go through and comb him out, all of a sudden he's going to look so soft and feel so soft and look so clean. And the thing is, I haven't washed him in I don't know how long. Let me see if I can lower this a little bit. There we go, so you can actually see. So I don't even know. It's been like maybe a week or maybe about 2 weeks since I washed him, but he stays pretty clean. Why? Because I'm combing out all of the dead hair. And so see, he's nice and soft. Let me show you his eyes here. Oh, we mean show them your eyes. There we go. There we go. See, and he stays long. And I like him to stay long because, especially when we're running around out there in the trails, I'd rather him have this extra hair just in case a snake, runs up on him, like a snake comes up and wants to try to strike, you know what I'm saying? Strike first and strike hard. I want them to grab his hair while he's pulling away, So it's like it gives them something to grab at. You know what I'm saying? Scorpion. What if a scorpion comes up at him? You know what I'm saying? Wants to throw hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather the scorpion grab his hair, or anything, and bugs and everything. Like, I feel like having that long hair is his protection out there when we're out in the woods romping around. Dexter, he's just big and dumb, and I think because he's so big and dumb and intimidating, creatures to stay away from him. But with Weemy, I even have like this vest that I put on him when we're out there because yeah, I want him to be protected, and I always look back and check on him because I'm always worried that a like a bird of prey, or owl or something will swoop down, just pick him up, like oh man, there goes Weemy. And I'm sure Dexter, no, Dexter's actually pretty protective. When we go to the dog park every night, almost, and he has some friends there. Oh my goodness, Dexter. The other night we went there, and there's this dog named Hachi, this big white dog, and Dexter hasn't seen him in a while. I guess we keep missing times. And when he came in, because we were there around 8:30, it was a little dark. It was well lit. When that dog came in, Dexter ran over to him, started barking at him, barking in his face. The other dog's like, "Oh, all right, all right." And it's almost like Dexter was like yelling, like, "Where you been?" Anyways, he has a better social life than I do. Um, let's see here. Lee, how did Joe Rogan get on the same level as Gandhi? No, I'm just saying, how do we choose? Someone who wins? Who's the winner at life? Because if you examine anyone's life, really, even the people who have accomplished the most notable things in history, when you really look at their life, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't flawless. They had issues, right? We all do. So I feel like, yeah, like what am I trying to prove? What am I trying to accomplish? What is this all about? I feel like, yeah, life is about the experience. Okay, so like, but fishing has really helped me a lot because I'm very goal oriented. I've always been like, why are we doing this? If I didn't understand the point of what we're trying to accomplish by doing a certain activity, I didn't want to do it. You know, so doing things just to do it made no sense to me. But so I was going out and fishing, and last year I caught a bass by accident on one of those clicking Zebco. I had no idea what I was doing. I watched a YouTube video. This guy said, get a power worm, hook it this way, and you'll catch a fish. Throw it around, you'll catch a fish. I was like, okay. So I did that on the Chattahoochee River, and I caught a big bass. Last year, it was my very first time catching a fish. I was hooked after that, right? So I kept going out, and it doesn't work. The same technique doesn't really work. It's like I wasn't catching fish. And so then I was watching other videos. And I was like, maybe I'll try this one. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try crankbait. So the good news is I learned a lot of different baits. I didn't even know what a crankbait was. I didn't know what a spinnerbait was. I didn't know what anything was. So I started to learn, and then I kept getting frustrated because if I by going like every single day going out there and not catching a fish for weeks at a time, I started to get frustrated, and I started to think to myself like, I don't think I want to do this. If I'm not gonna catch any fish, what am I doing out there? Like I don't think I want to do this. And then I saw this YouTube video, this older YouTube guy, Randy Blockhead, and then also another one, Tom something. But these guys are so wise, and there's basically both saying the same thing. They're saying, remind yourself that being out there and fishing, going out fishing, that's the win. Catching a fish is just a bonus, and you're not always going to catch a fish. And here's what this one guy said. He was like, if you're out there and you're trying all different kinds of baits, you're trying all different kinds of techniques, and the fish just aren't biting, and you're not on a boat, you're on a bank, so we have very limited options bank fishing. It's not like we can just go around. There's a lot of walking involved, but anyways, he was saying you're not catching anything anyways. Might as well try on a new kind of bait, something that you're not familiar with or you're not really comfortable with, not you don't have a lot of confidence in. Work that bait and learn that retrieve. Watch how it comes back and learn that technique and really perfect it while there's no fish around eating. They're not eating anyways. You're not catching anything anyways. Might as well practice the technique and get better. That way, as long as you're learning something and you're improving every time you go out there, and you're learning something about that body of water, by dragging that jig, closing your eyes and dragging that jig, feeling what's under there. You're feeling what your pond or lake actually looks and feels like underneath the water without actually having to have any sonar or gear. You're feeling it, right? You're learning something about your pond, your local, nature, and you're connecting, and as long as you have gained something, then it's not a failure. It's not a waste of time. It's actually productive. So I was like, that is so incredible. That is such a great way to think of things. So that's what I do. And that's what I was doing last night even. I was like, I'm not catching anything anyways. Might as well try this bait. And I tied on the Colorado. Anyways, I tried it. I was like, one more cast. Let's just try this. Like, let's feel it. And I was feeling the vibration. All of a sudden, I felt a thump thump, and then it like tugging. I was like, oh my god. Anyways, I'm so glad I went out last night. But even if I didn't catch that fish last night, I still wouldn't have felt like it was a failure or a waste of time or anything like that because I got to try new baits and I'm not casting into the trees that much anymore. And I did cast into a tree one time, but instead of having it wrap around the branch, now because of experience, I know how to like get it back safely and not lose my expensive lure. Well, it's only like 3, $4, expensive to me. But yeah, it's like now I can't get it to go exactly where I want every time when I cast, but every once in a while it'll land right where I want it to, and the feeling is just freaking amazing, man. When I'm looking at a spot, I'm like, oh man, that looks like a perfect spot. It looks like if I was a fish, I would be hiding right there. And I throw it and it lands right where I want it to land. Oh man, even if I don't catch anything, and I usually don't, even if nothing bites, and it usually doesn't, it still feels so amazing that I got it to land where I wanted it to go. Finally, without backlashing or messing up, like or throwing it into a tree. That's this is one tree. I swear, one of these days I'm gonna get an axe and I'm gonna chop it down because that tree is just the tree of death for lures. It's not just my lures. I see other people's lures on there. It's like a Christmas tree. Decorated with people's lost lures. I'm gonna go chop that tree down one of these days. I won't have to buy another lure for the rest of my life. Anyways, all right. Well, I better get going. I hope this was helpful. I hope this makes sense. Like a horse, the dog's skin and coat is more like a horse's skin and coat than our own. If I don't take a shower often, my clients probably won't want me in their house, right? With the dogs, though, if you wash them too often, you will not be able to tolerate living with them in your own house because they're going to smell so much. Because you're washing them so much, they're getting so smelly. You're washing them smelly. You're washing them to death. Like it's better to brush them just like a horse. Horses, you want to brush them every day, often, right? Get those oils all throughout their body, spread those oils, get that dead hair out. Same thing with the dog, same concept. And you don't want to wash them too often for the same reason. You don't want to strip those oils too often. And it's okay as long as you put good conditioner and oils back into their skin and coat. But come on, when you're a pet owner, how many pet owners are actually doing that? So if you're a pet owner, just to stay on the safe side, don't wash your dog so often. And if you do, use conditioner. And here's my thing. Okay, if you're strapped on time, let me top off here. If you're strapped on time and your dog is dirty and smelly, but you don't really have time to do like everything, brush, wash, dry, everything, here's my suggestion. If you can only do one thing, brush your dog. It's better to skip the bath than it is the brushing. Brush your dog and they will look and smell much better and feel much better. Everything that you're trying to get out of the bath, you're actually going to get from the brushing. Then, when you're about to wash them, so brush them first. If you have time, then wash them. Now, if you're gonna wash them and you're strapped for time, and you have to skip either the conditioner or the shampoo, you only have time for one soak and rinse. You use conditioner. It's better to skip the shampoo than the conditioner. It's the conditioner will still get your dog smelling and it'll still clean. It still has some cleaning effects. But more importantly, it has the oils and the moisturizers that's going to protect your dog's skin and hair. So if you're going to skip one or the other, skip the shampoo, not the conditioner. And skip the bathing, not the brushing. Um, oh, yeah. And then if you don't have time to fully dry your dog, probably don't have time to wash your dog. Don't wash your dog then. You want your dog completely dry after the bath. When your dog sits and it's damp, and it's just sitting there damp, that causes skin conditions, bacteria to grow, all of that stuff. So daily brushing, Super important. Everything that has hair needs to be brushed daily. Makes sense, right? So your dog has hair, brush it. If you're gonna wash them at like space it out as much as you can. If you can go 3 weeks, go 3 weeks. If you can go 4 weeks, go 4 weeks. Go as long as you can without washing them. And if you're brushing them every day, you could probably go months without washing them. You know, I mean, unless you're active like I am and we're outside and they're getting dirty. Because I wash with me maybe once every 3 weeks. You know, but yeah, yeah. But Dexter, I probably never washed him. I mean, I have grooming wipes that I use. I wipe him down, I brush him, but he stays clean and he smells good. He sleeps in the bed with me. Like he's a short-haired dog. He really doesn't need to be washed. If you have a short-haired dog like my dog Dexter, you really don't need to wash them, but you really need to brush them, or they're really gonna smell. All right. I hope that helps. I gotta get fishing. Let me see here. Lee says, I've actually watched him. He's not who I thought he was. I'm having to readjust my thoughts since my medical status isn't changing anytime soon. Acceptance is what's for dinner. Exactly. Accept whatever it is, Amor fati, right? Love my fate. Whatever it is that's happening to me, I love it because it's my experience and I love it. I'm here for the experience, right? What else am I here for? I can't take any possessions with me. I can't take any money with me when I'm gone. What am I here to do? Well, I guess I'm here to have a good experience. So, what is a good experience for me? Going out there and fishing, catching a fish sometimes, spending time out there with my dogs, because I realize now after having to say goodbye to Angel, the time we spend with them is precious. And so every chance I get, I want to be out there with them in nature, walking, spending time, creating those memories and those experiences with them because at least we get to take those with us when we leave here, right? The experiences that we have going out and doing the best for my clients every day, working really hard to make sure their dogs look and feel their best, makes me feel proud of myself. It fills me with a sense of purpose and pride, knowing that every day I wake up, I have something to do that's going to be helpful to someone else, and that's going to create an income for me. So I can sustain myself and I can pay rent here in this new place, and I can pay to take care of my daughters and my dogs, and I can pay to have experiences like going out fishing, so I feel grateful. And I'm like, what else do I need? I really don't need anything more. I realize like we're all suffering from a disease called more. I'm gonna end with this. It's a story that I heard from Tony Robbins, and this will be the last. This is how I'll wrap it up with this. So Tony Robbins tells a story about his king. This king was very ambitious, very driven, and he hears about this monk who's traveling his kingdom with this magical lamp that grants whatever you wish, but double. And he's like, "Well, what is this monk doing?" Then the his advisor was like, "Well, he's just going around, he's just and preaching about talking about love and talking about stillness and being at one and inner peace and things like that. He's just trying to share a good message with people and you know that's all he does." And he's like, "Well, where does he sleep? What does he do?" And he's like, "Well, people just kind of take care of him and he sleeps, wherever he's welcome and people feed him." And he's like, "But he has this magic lamp." And he's like, "Well, bring this monk to me." So they get this monk, they bring him to the king. And the monk says, "Oh, king, your palace is just incredible. This is amazing. Your kingdom is so wonderful. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you." And the king says, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, whatever. This lamp of yours, I hear that it grants whatever you ask of it, but it gives you double what you ask." And he says, "Oh yeah, this lamp has been in my family for as long as we can remember. It's been passed down to me. It's the only thing I actually cherish in this whole world." And he says, "Well, let me have it." And he says, "Oh, I can't. I'm sorry. This has been in my family for as long as we remember. There's a part of me. I can't part with it. I'm sorry. I can't give it to you." And he says, "Well, you don't even know what to do with it. You don't even know how to use it. If you knew how to use it, you would have more than just the clothes on your back." He's like, "I would know. I know what to do with this. Trust me. If you give me this lamp, I'm gonna do a lot of good with it. I know how to use it. So give it to me." And the monk says, "I'm sorry, king, I can't. I can't part with this. I have to go." And so he leaves. The king's furious. He tells his guards, "Get me that lamp." And so, they go, they chase him down, and they get the lamp. And they bring it back to the king, and the king orders everybody out of his chambers, locks the doors, and says, "I need some privacy," right? And then he talks to this lamp, says, "Oh, lamp, I have this kingdom, and it's going all right, but I'd really like another one." And the lamp says, "Oh, king, somebody of your stature, somebody like you, surely you can handle two more kingdoms." And he's like, "Oh my God, they were right. This lamp is amazing. He's like, "Yes, yes, two more kingdoms." And he says, "Why stop at two? How about four more kingdoms? It'll make it a nice five." "Yes, now I want 1,000 concubines." And he's like, "Oh, king, somebody with your stamina, somebody like you, with your stature, you could handle 2,000 concubines." And he's like, "This lamp knows me, right? This lamp knows who I am inside, right? Yes, 2,000 concubines." Says, "Why stop there? Why not 4,000?" He's like, "Yes, yes, fill up my kingdom with concubines." And he's like, "Now I would like 100 chariots." And he's like, "Why just 100? Let's do 200. Yes, 200 chariots." He finally starves and dies in his chambers, never comes out. Moral of the story is he was possessed by uh, a demon called more. More, more, more. It was never enough. And who knows? Outside that room, maybe nothing was even happening. It was all just in his mind. It was the idea of getting more that possessed him. He never left the room, died in the room, just wishing and wishing more and more things, you know? So that is the lesson that I learned from Tony Robbins. How much is enough? Well, we all get to decide. We all have a freedom of choice. We all get to choose that for ourselves. We all get to decide how much is enough for me. And then once you decide how much is enough, well, then enough is enough, right? Anyways, I've said enough, and enough is enough. I'll take my own advice. I'm about to go fishing. Lee, I have to read Lee's comment. Shoot, Lee, you still got my number, Lee? Give me a call sometimes. It says, I'm not at the loving it place, but I'll get there. I'm so sorry about Angel, but she truly lived her best life with you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lee. I really appreciate that. And seriously, if you're ever feeling really down or anything, um, text me, so I can ignore it. Texting is probably better because if you call me, all of a sudden I'm stuck with somebody who's all depressed and crying and everything, and now I'm gonna be like, "Oh, how do I get off this call?" I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah, Lee, for real. If you ever want to talk, just give me a call. You got my number. You know what? I'll text you on my way to the wildlife management area where I'm about to go fishing with my dogs. I'll use the speak to text and text you while I'm driving down there, just to make sure you still have my number. Alrighty. Debbie, June, I enjoyed your book. Wow, Debbie, thank you so much. You enjoyed my book? What a relief. I don't have to send you your $5 back. I totally would. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't enjoy the book, all you have to do is just give me your address. I will mail you the cost of the book back to you. That's why I priced it so low, just in case I would have to reimburse anybody. I don't want it to cost a fortune. Anyways, thank you so much, Debbie. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna go fish. And then, yeah, I'm working this weekend. I'm working tomorrow. I'm working Sunday because we rescheduled today. Yeah, so I'm working straight through this weekend into next week. So I'm gonna treat today like my weekend. I'm just gonna shut everything off, disconnect from society, disconnect from the digital world, and now I'm gonna reconnect to the natural world and recharge my batteries. Refresh my spirit. Renew my soul. I guess be out there in nature. Hopefully, catch a fish. I don't even care if it's a little thing. Like just catching one just feels so good. But even if I don't, I'm gonna remind myself that going out and fishing is the win. Being out there, having that experience is the win. Same thing like life. Being here, being alive, having this experience on earth, it's the win. whatever we do after that, whatever you accomplish during this time, that's just a bonus, right? Being here, being alive for each other, this is the win.